welcome to the podcast. Before we get into our picks this week, we do please ask that someone out there in the YouTube world have some kind, compassionate thoughts for this podcast and please subscribe. Not asking for donations, just to subscribe. All these other dumb podcasts, they get subscriptions. We need a couple more subscriptions. That's all.
And also, leave your comments below if you have any ideas for our podcast or questions or suggestions of things we can do to make it even better. Okay, thank you.
All right, now we're going to do some picks. All right, okay, I'll say, and you say if you agree. Well, the Colts are 3.5-point underdogs against the Broncos, but okay, yeah, honestly, that game already over. The Giants, 8-point underdogs at Green Bay. It's too high of a point spread. I'm going to say Packers win, but Giants get within. What do you say?
I agree within 4 or 5 points.
Pittsburgh is 13.5 underdogs at Buffalo. That's too high too, right, Fezzy?
Well, we don't know who's starting. It might be Pickett starting. And
we do know that the Bills do like to run up the scores.
So I still say, because Steelers still have a very good defense, even with injuries. So I have to pick the Steelers. Bills will win the game.
Chargers are 2.5-point favorites at Cleveland. I don't know either of those teams.
It all depends on Justin Herbert's health. He's had a rib injury, so I don't know.
Cleveland. I would go maybe Cleveland then.
I take Cleveland.
Texans are 7.5-point underdogs against Jacksonville at Jacksonville. That's too high, right? I go with Texans.
They're
awful.
Going Texans, even though they're the only team that hasn't won a game.
Yeah, they gotta win some games. Bears are 6-point underdogs at Vikings. I go Bears. That's too high.
Bears, yeah. Vikings are not that good, but
Detroit is 3-point. Patriots are 3.5 favorites over the Lions at New England. Probably New England.
New England.
Seattle is 5.5. No, New Orleans is 5.5-point favorites at New Orleans against the Seahawks.
No, it's too high.
Yeah, I go with
I go Seahawks.
Dolphins are 3.5 at Jets.
I go Dolphins.
Dolphins, it matters how the quarterback. Let's see. Falcons are 9.5 underdogs at Tampa.
That's too high a line.
Stay away from that game.
But Tampa Bay will win, I think.
Titans are 2.5 favorites at Washington.
Yes, Titans.
Niners are 6.5 over Carolina at Carolina.
49ers will win, but the line's a little high. But
Eagles 5.5 at Arizona.
At Arizona, Arizona's not good this year, but Philadelphia is 4-0, but
yeah, that's one of those.
They haven't really played anyone yet.
Yeah, that's one of those late games out in the desert that.
So I say Cardinals, but to cover that spread.
Yeah, that's one of those games that they're forgotten out in that desert at 4:00, and then the teams drop a game. Cowboys are 5. The Rams are 5.5 at Los Angeles against the Cowboys.
The Rams have not been playing well. I still think that's going to be a close enough game, like a field goal, 3 or 4 points.
A lot of high points. Bengals are 3.5 over Baltimore at Baltimore. I go with Baltimore.
Baltimore at 3.5. Yeah.
And Raiders are 6.5-point underdogs at Kansas City.
I go the That game I might stay away from, but the Raiders, I think, can beat that point spread, but they're not going to win, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know. That's difficult. I guess if I had to make a choice, I'd go with the Chiefs because when they win, they're like the Bills trying to add up the scores.
Well, that's true.
Uh, what's going on? The Orioles ended their season with a winning record. That's good. Everything is on the positive with the Orioles.
Yeah, they finished 83 and 79, considered they only won 52 games last year. That's quite an improvement. In fact, Brendan Hyde has to get some votes for manager of the year.
Yeah, it's all trending in the right direction. Maybe next year people can actually go to the games. Be nice. What did you hear? What's Miami's status?
I hear Cameron Wolf has the latest that I've heard, and that Tull has been in meetings helping the quarterbacks prepare for the game. Teddy Bridgewater and Skylar Thompson, and he says he's passed all the MRIs are clear, and all those tests. He just has to. He does have concussion, so he has to go through concussion protocol. So Miami's being cautious. So
Yeah, maybe get a better.
He might be back in a couple weeks
from Teddy Bridgewater because he sucked. Miami.
Well, now that Teddy Bridgewater, the game will be that Mike McDaniel will draw up the plans for him in the game and not just coming in. So he's going to do a lot better, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
If he doesn't, Skylar Thompson will be in there.
Yeah, because Miami is the top seeded team. I mean, it's a little early, but they would be the best team in the AFC if Tua was 100%.
But if they lose to the Jets, they go from Super Bowl favorite to I don't know playoffs. Losing to the Jets.
I also had a bet. The Ravens, Lamar really. I mean, the Ravens are going to have one of the worst defenses this year, no matter what they do. They had the idea of thinking a great defensive backfield would compensate for having no rushers, but now they have injuries there, so they're the worst defense in the NFL. So it's going to be up to Lamar.
They're 32nd in pass defense, but the thing about it is, no matter how good your defensive backs are, if you have no pass rush, you can't cover even an average receiver.
Yeah, Lamar's got to play as great as he has played. Three games and a half of 2019 Lamar, and he's going to have to play like that for the Ravens to get to 10 or 11 wins with the defense being so bad.
Yeah, but the good thing is Gus Edwards, I don't know if he's going to be back this week, but he should be back either this week or next week, so that will help a lot.
And then, so we go now to politics. Everybody vote in your wherever you are, vote. Try to go for all Democrat. We're an all Democratic YouTube station, and
yes, because really you're voting for a Democrat. You're voting for a capital D democracy. So if you favor democracy over authoritarian government, you'll vote Democratic down the line.
Yeah, I mean, really, not much more of a time that really not both bad or they're all the same. Actually, there's a pretty clear difference nowadays, extremely clear. So we're going to be
across the country. The Republicans are running, I think, 299 candidates who think that 2020 was a fraud election and that Donald Trump won. At least they're saying that.
Yeah, that's what they say. Maybe that my pillow guy believes it, but other than that, well, that's all we got. You got to go out and vote, and you got to watch the Ravens and the Dolphins, and also
one
the
thing
Texans would be nice to win a game.
Joe Biden did a great move. He pardoned all federal possession of marijuana, so it's not going to be on people's records. So a lot of people can get jobs because it was a racist policy anyway of how many.
Yeah, you can't have marijuana be illegal in a country that makes this good a junk food. So
Yeah, another thing is Joe Biden is pointed out that marijuana is listed in the same class as fentanyl and heroin.
yeah, that's dumb. So the few good things that Trump said he was going to do that he never did, Biden has done them all. So that's the show. Watch some football this week. We'll be rooting for the Ravens. That's a big game against Cincinnati division. Dolphins are up in New York with the backup quarterback. So we'll see you till next. And remember, please subscribe. We're begging you at this point. We are begging for subscribers. Any last words, Fezzi?
Subscribe and just leave suggestions because you can subscribe. It's not going to cost you anything. So try to help us out and get going. If you have any good suggestions, to put them in the comments.
Yeah,
Please
I mean,
subscribe.
You can even hate subscribe if you want. Just subscribe. All right, that's the show for today, and we're going to try to keep more shows coming, and we thank all those who have subscribed. Good night.